Good day, fellow cinema nerds and movie geeks of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews. It's currently midnight. Better late than never. I almost said nether, but never. That's the word I was meant to say. We're talking about some Jason Bourne. Some of that good old Jason Bourne, magnifique. This is not Ethan Hunt, not James Bond. Well, the same initials, but this is Jason Bourne. Or Colin Firth from Kingsman. Forgot his surname. Look forward to Kingsman 2. We're talking about Jason Bourne. We're talking about this action spy thriller franchise, which I recently catched up with. My words, they're a bit odd today. Well, actually no, I think they are fine today. Just, I don't know. My mouth is not in, it's not, man, I can't think of a single word. It's not keeping up with my brain. There you go. I'm going to stick with that. I like to think I'm good for words, but I don't know why. I just couldn't think of a single word now. I think you call that a brain fart, when it's on the tip of your tongue, but you literally just can't think of it. I'm stalling. I'm not stalling. If I was stalling, that means that I know it's so bad I don't want to talk about it, but it's not. Okay. I've said in the past how when a new installment of a franchise is coming out, and like a pretty famous franchise that I've heard of quite long before from other people, my dad knowing it, or people I watch on the internet talking about it. Like for example with Mission Impossible, I caught up on all those films, and then ready for the 5th one, and for the Hunger Games I caught up on all those films, ready for the new one. For this one, I'm being really because people are sleeping, that's why I might sound a bit quiet. But for Jason Bourne, I knew that was coming out, and I've heard of this franchise before from other reviewers, like movie reviewers I watch on the internet mentioning it, and them saying how it's like one of the best action franchises ever. So I thought, I believe I've seen a copy of like one of these films around the house. I look around the house in my dad's DVD collection. Luckily he has the first one. I've always noticed it there. I looked around a bit more, and to my surprise, there was Supremacy. Couldn't find the 3rd or 4th one. So later that day, I get to go to a used DVD shop where yes, they had Ultimatum, but they had like 50 copies of Ultimatum. That's probably a bit of an over-exaggeration, but I've never seen so many copies of this one film in my life. Just like Ultimatum, all 99p. So I got it. If you want to get to when I actually talk about Jason Bourne, here you go. Just saying, I like to give a bit of a background. But as for the Bourne Legacy, I couldn't find it. There's even another used DVD shop across from it. It was a lot less organised. It wasn't in alphabetical order. It literally just like there's some random DVDs. Just look for us, and so I'll just sit there going. Then I'll get on my knee, and then because it goes up pretty high, so I had to get on my knee and that. Then I was just like on the floor, but it wasn't there. But then I went to, so I was thinking, maybe I'll skip it because I know it doesn't have Matt Damon in it, and I think I watched a review of it once and it said it wasn't really good. But I went to Asda. Asda's pretty big here for you people outside of Europe. I believe it's basically our Walmart. I don't know how many Americans will be watching this, I have no idea. But anyway, moving on, we're talking about some Bourne here. I go to Asda, and to my surprise, there it is. The Bourne Legacy with the lovely Hawkeye on the front. I'm sorry, whenever I go to see it, I think of Hawkeye. I'm sorry, I can't change that whenever I see Jeremy Renner's lovely face. But look at it, £3. It got a good. Actually, no, I'll demonstrate. If you notice here, yeah, good old 12 rating. Good old 12 rating right there. So I thought there'll be no problem. I go up, said here you are, and I don't want to be mean because I don't like to speak or people behind their back. I don't want to be mean like that. But basically, to sum up, they wouldn't let me have it, even though yes, I have a baby face. Yes, people thought I'm like 2 or 3 years younger than I actually am, like on a different year group, 2 or 3 years under. But I don't think I look that young. I look incredibly young, but not 12 young. I mean, if it was 15 rated, I could understand, but 12 rated. I even showed him my college ID, which had college on it, and you have to be 16 years of age to go to college. I had to like conflict. I don't want to go like, no, I'm not leaving till you give me it. But I did say, it says college on it, and you have to be 16. But basically, she even went to other colleagues, and like, they didn't know, I didn't all huddle up and do a whisper like, no, I heard what they were saying. But yes, then when she said, so I need a date of birth or something like that, I said, I'll be right back, and I was you would think I sounded bad. I was like, I'll be right back, or an Arnold thing, but Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator style, and then I just crashed through the Astor in a car. No, you didn't buy me it, so I stole this car, and I manslaughter. Actually, no, that wouldn't be manslaughter, that'll be on purpose. I wouldn't have actually done that, I should emphasise that, but I had to go get me mummy, and then my mummy, and they basically, she said, well, and I would have sold it to him, but, you know, he would have got by and didn't see his date of birth, and because I'm a little worse, I said, sorry if I was an inconvenience, sorry if you hate me now, because I'm like that, but I got it. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, this is an exciting, thrilling story, you should write it, Stephen King it. No, just a bit funny. But I'm just saying, by that logic, what if I bought Beauty and the Beast, and that film's like a U to PG, and I'm like almost 18 and said, no, you still need a date of birth. And I mean, but I'm not a toddler. That, well, you could be. No, but, you know, just Beauty and the Beast is some hardcore stuff. You know, I think you need your date of birth. But anyway, as of recently, I caught up on all these films, all four, all of them, and I've actually attempted to make this video 2 times. But what I wanted to do, well, you know, I did the X-Men video. If you just got here, you wouldn't know that. In the X-Men Apocalypse video, basically it was almost an hour, because I wanted to give my thoughts on each individual X-Men film, not like cutting it. Pardon me, not like cutting in like the post or anything, just full on vlog for 50 minutes. Excuse me again. I ate some biscuits earlier. That's not even a joke, that's not me trying to enforce a British stereotype. But I did it after I drank my tea and watched some EastEnders and Doctor Who. I do watch Doctor Who though. Moving on. But I didn't like incorporate like cutting in a post that was just full on like rambling, which I normally do. Which I would like to do that sort of thing, but I feel it's easier for view wise, while I was fresh in my mind, just ramble on it. Here you go. But that's the thing, because I do like to make it professional, but I don't have a lot of good equipment. I have a camera, but moving on, it makes it easier. So that's my dad coughing. So I watched them all, and it was good fun. Now, I was going to do an individual video talking about all 4, but I thought, you know, just might as well do this now. I already put the link for when I actually start talking about Jason Bourne, but I'm just going to quickly speed one, because because all the trilogy kind of, it has the same thing, so I'll just be repeating myself, which I normally do anyway, but that'll be a lot more obvious. So I'm just going to quickly speed run my thoughts for all 4 films, and then I'll just get into the new one, Jason Bourne, which I haven't wrote notes on, but I got the gist. Okay then. I don't know why I actually showed the DVD. Look, I got the DVD. I mean, does it make a difference? I'm going to talk about it either way. Well, wouldn't be able to talk about it if I didn't have the DVD, unless it was on Netflix or something. Really bad. Dude. Okay. I'm taking a mic, aren't I? So the Bourne Identity, I believe I saw it was a couple of weeks ago that I actually watched it, and I remember it being pretty good. Now, it didn't blow me away. I watched Chris Stuckman's review of it. He said it's an A, it's awesome, it's thrilling, the characters. I thought it was pretty good. I was like, it's mediocre, and then I thought it was alright, and then over time they say he's like the biggest character piece of the Bourne identity, but character-wise, nothing really struck me. And I don't know if it was only me, but the girl who plays, I believe, Marcia, like basically, like the girl of the come on, I must say it here. Does it actually say her name? I don't think it does. Basically, the girl, Jason Bourne, like asked to drive in the fans, her. If you've seen the film, you know who I mean, just by saying the girl, because she's the main girl. I didn't find her a very good actor. I don't know why, just her delivery and her reactions to Jason Bourne beating up people, and she's like, how do you know who I am? How do you know who I am? That was awful. No, it wasn't that bad. I feel bad when I say like, oh, the acting was good, because I feel like it's a personal attack on the person, but no, just like from what I saw in the film, like, because apparently these, unlike Mission Impossible, where like he's hanging onto the side of a plane, these are meant to be like really realistic and like true to reality action films. Just the way she reacted and the delivery just seemed a bit off to me. But Matt Damon was really good. I mean, like, again, character-wise, nothing really struck me. I mean, but I did feel somewhat sympathy for, I felt a bit of sympathy for Bourne, but most of the time I was like, oh my gosh, look how he's kicking butt, and I was like really invested when he was like, okay, we need to get to here and here, and he's finding more about himself. By the way, this must be this worst case of amnesia I've ever seen, because it lasts like 4 movies, not counting the Jeremy Renner one, because damn. I'll get to that. But Jason Bourne, some really good action scenes, like hand-on-hand combat. The car chase was really good, and I think the most like not of this reality type bit was when he bloody went down a stairwell, not like around it. I mean, like down it on a dead guy. I'll shoot, and then he shot a guy, and then he landed, and then he was okay. That's how it should have ended. That very accurate. It's a bit like when they did it of what if Indiana Jones really did get into a bloody fridge and there's a nuclear bomb went off. Yeah, it wouldn't have gone so smoothly. But I don't think that would have really. I don't think it would have really happened that way. But I know this seems very vague and simplistic, but just my general thoughts on it. I thought it was pretty good. So I thought the action was really good. Overall, good film. Yeah. Oh man. The Bourne Supremacy. When people say Ultimatum is their favourite, but to me, I keep switching between Ultimatum and this one. This was the one when I was most invested, I was most thrilled by. Like, there was some intense, thrilling stuff in here. Like, seriously, and this is when Bourne becomes that, like, machine. Like, he can almost, he's a bit like Hitman. He can almost do anything. Like, he's just very calculating, and like, and also the time where he's like, you look tired. He turns around and like, oh, I love that bit. That was a good bit. What else? What? I'm trying to remember. Just I love these 3 films are really, really good, but it's kind of hard to pick out certain bits because they all feel somewhat the same. But that's not a bad thing. Even though, yes, each film was different things happen, but some things feel the same. Like, I'll get to that in a moment. Okay. Ultimatum, also really good. Actually, no, it's awesome. Like, I think the most intense part of all 3 films was when he was running across the rooftops and he was jumping over, and he jumped through a window because I thought Nikki was actually gonna die. And also again where it's like, because if you were here we'll be looking at each other, and he goes back because he knows he's in his office, and oh man, I really want to be more like, but I'm meant to be talking about Jason Bourne, so I'm trying to get past this. The Bourne Legacy kind of sucked. I think that's the overall thing. It's just the film. What really annoyed me the whole film is basically about a random old guy shouting commands at people about looking for a nurse while Jeremy Renner deals with his drug addiction. Well, not literal drug addiction, but medicine addiction. Basically, the whole film is about a bunch of guys looking for a nurse, while Jeremy Renner wants to, trying to get what was the phrase? Basically, he's just looking for medicine. He's trying to help his addiction. That's it. And try to, link to what happened during the other films, but I felt I wasn't interested. I didn't care. I found it dull, boring. Obviously, without Matt Damon there, I couldn't give a crap. There, just but that was the plot. It was so stupid, and also, by the way, there's a part where like these two people are trying to interrogate Rachel Weisz, probably butchered that name, character. And she screams so much. Like, if you look at it, it's like kind of bad. Like, just acts so over the top with it. It's but still, no harsh feelings to the lovely Rachel. Okay, maybe because I'm tired, but I want to. Okay. A Jason Bourne film is in the Jason Bourne film. Well, exclude like an actual Jason Bourne film, unlike Legacy. It needs these things to make it a Bourne film. A car chase or motorbike chase, a vehicle chase has to happen. Someone walking into a room to see Bourne there and be surprised. Someone in a room full of people on computers shouting commands like, "Look, there's Bourne. Okay, give me that security camera. Okay, do this. Who's that? Who's that?" Something like that. And so Bourne telling someone to go alone. But then they don't go alone, and then he either leaves or grabs the person and goes off somewhere to interrogate him while everyone else is looking for the person. And need I forget the asset, because there's always an asset in every film. By the way, seeing Carl Urban in Supremacy was a nice surprise because, good old Judge Dredd and Bones. But basically, and need I forget the asset, and also the person who's shouting commands, say asset over and over again. The asset, where's the asset? Is the asset near him? Is the asset in the area? Those things, that makes a Bourne film. And it's a bit like in Back to the Future. There's some sense of, like, if you look at, like, the trilogy, it can get a bit repetitive because, like, in all three films, it's like he wakes up and, like, back in good old 1955, good old 1985, and also Nobody Calls Me Sugar. Those same like gags that they do repeat over and over again. No hate on the trilogy, one of the best trilogies ever. It's Back to the Future, but with this film, all these things happen. They pretty much all those things happen. There may be some slight differences, but all those things happen, and I'll just like, and it makes the film a bit predictable. Yes, I'm now talking about Jason Bourne. It makes the film a bit predictable, like, not only knowing seeing the other films now, but also seeing some other spy action films. It can get a bit predictable and, irritating. What also is irritating is how almost every single actor in this film looks as dull, uninterested, and just not invested in this film as popular. I know this is the Bourne franchise. Not everyone is meant to be smiley and happy. This isn't a what's a franchise where people normally smile. Scooby-Doo. That's an action franchise now. Scooby-Doo, that's some hardcore stuff, man. Like Jeremy Renner and his pills. You really need some pills, a blue one or green one or whatever it was. But it just people look. They look. So yeah, I know they're not meant to smile or anything, and I know as Matt, I kind of forgive Matt Damon because Jason Bourne is meant to be like a machine now. He just doesn't smile. He's just cool and calculated. But still, he's still trying to find out who he is. Like, even at this point, he's still trying to find out who he is. Like, yeah. But to me, Jesus, pardon me again. But to me, the person who looked most uninterested, just one note, monotoned, stiff as a board, was the person who played Nikki Parsons. The person who was in all three other of the films, who was very good. Hey, there's a part in Ultimatum where she's crying because that's Supremacy. Yeah, I think that was Supremacy, but the part where she's crying because she thinks she's gonna die because Jason Bourne has a gun to her head. But here she's it just seems like a school play. It's just really badly delivered. Wait, I'm trying to think of a line. Yes, Bourne. That was my computer. Yes, Bourne. I found this file. You need to go do this, Bourne. You may remember everything, but it doesn't mean you know everything. Wow, her face is a bit lump. Actually, no, that's Jason Bourne's face. His face is normal. Actually, no, that looks a bit ridiculous. Basically, he's always frowning. Turn that frown upside down, Bourne. But this isn't a comedy show. This is a Bourne. But when I saw the trailer, the trailers were really vague, so I don't want to give away the plot. Which thank you, Chris Dunn, for reminding me of that, because I was thinking of basically pointing some things out, but I do realise the trailer is really vague. And also, after catching up on all the films and really liking them, I had a great time with those films, great action films. But I haven't seen every single action franchise ever, but they are really good. Maybe one of the best I've seen. Again, excluding Legacy, because that doesn't have Matt Damon in it, and having Matt Damon makes it a Bourne film. And also, because those three films were based off a book. And I don't think this was based off a book. If it was, I think it would be called The Bourne something. So this is now separate because it's called Jason Bourne, not the Bourne fifth one. That would be a great title. I don't know why they called it The Bourne Legacy. Bourne isn't even in it, but he's mentioned. By the way, in all four of those films, they used the same picture of Matt Damon from 2004. He looks a bit different now, so. I'm you gotta change that picture. But here, just a lot of the actors just seem very bored and disinterested and just not really into it. And because, especially the person who plays Nikki Parsons, I apologise. I mean, no ill will, but she's probably not watching. If she is, I'm very sorry. This is just my thoughts here. Especially the person who played the character of Heather Lee. It's just, I don't know if it was just me, but I know nobody's meant to be smiling or happy or cracking jokes, but just everyone seems so dull and uninterested and just not invested. I already said that word, but I'm gonna say it again, in what they're saying or doing. It's just their delivery of it. I don't know if it's just me, but Matt Damon, he's still Bourne. He's still Bourne. He does his thing. He shoots stuff. He kicks some butt, and there you go. Yes, there's many just generic action movies about guys with a gun, but he's one of the best, next to John Wick in my opinion. He only made one movie, but that was Keanu, bloody Keanu. But yes, moving on. What I think of the movie, it was okay. It was fine. Because I'm now, I'd say I'll call myself a fan of the Bourne trilogy. I got my fill. Bourne, he did his thing. He was cool. He was calculating. He discovered more about his past. Still trying to get rid of another operation in the film, Treadstone, but man, they just don't stop. Even after when Bourne dies, this is going to be 50 other operations. Yeah. But I had fun, but I was disappointed. It was okay for me. There was a lot of flaws because yes, the trilogy, all Bourne films really, they feel somewhat the same, but different. You know, different things happen, different characters, different mission for Bourne. So knowing that, the film can be a bit repetitive, but I noticed that, and also there was some, you know, dull, monotoned delivery and acting by some. Again, no hard feelings, but the action was really good. Like there's a car chase at the end of this. There's a motorbike chase at the beginning, but there's a car chase at the very end, and it is really good. Like they crash through some buildings, they're flipping through stuff, crashing through like 10 cars. I haven't seen something like that in a while, and you could tell it was real. That was some real stuff, and it was cool. And obviously with the hand-to-hand combat, yes, the cam was doing all this, even when Bourne is just standing still, the cam's still going. But that's what the films are known for. It can be distracting to some, but I mean it's pretty darn noticeable. The camera's just like that, like the person has it's just really cold, like really cold. Something get me a blanket, but jokes, great. But that's there as well. I mean, there's a lot of times in this movie, even though I think the Bourne franchise is a film that's really grounded in reality, there's a lot of times in this film where I'm like, bullcrap. I say it in my head, but I swear in my head, because, I mean, what's the use in censoring your head or brain? What am I saying? Don't censor your brain. Inspirational. We're inspirational here. But there's a lot of times in this movie where I'm like, no, I mean, technology has improved over the last few decades, but I don't think we're at that point. I don't think this is a spoiler. I'm not going to say, like, why they did this or whatever, but there's a scene where, you know, Bourne is on a laptop. Spoilers, he's on a laptop. Whole film ruined. I'm sorry. But that's my chair. My chair is creaking up a storm. But there's a part where Bourne is on a laptop, and he's looking at some files, and they say, nope, we don't want him looking at those files. And they're like, okay, we can't access the laptop, but there's a phone in that room. They access the phone wirelessly. Well, obviously, if they were there wired, and I mean, they could just do it right there and then Bourne probably, you know, go, no, I don't want you to, and then punch him in the face. But they hack into the phone, and they use the phone to delete the files off the laptop, which is on a hard drive. I don't know how that works. Maybe we're there and I don't know that, but I'm going to call bullcrap on that, because I don't really know how hacking a phone could somehow just magically hack, like the hacking goes through the air, and then just get rid of those files on that. It doesn't just say these files are gone now, it turns the laptop off completely, as if it just, I don't know, everything on the laptop is gone, even like the actual system itself is just compute. What am I saying? Kaput. Yeah, that's the word. Is that even a word? I think I heard that from a cartoon once. But stuff like that. And there's something else. I'm just trying to think, because like when I thinking of watching all the Bourne films, yes, a lot of it feels the same. A lot of the same stuff happened. Yes, they could be. Yes, now at this point the films can be well, at least this film could be predictable. And like, because they're not all the same film. Obviously, they just, some of the same things happen, and some of the just same scenarios. But because, you know, different characters and different mission for Bourne. But at this point, it's really hard to pinpoint something, because like, wait, okay, I got something. Okay, I think the trailer already says this, but in the trailer, when they say, when they actually find out, oh my gosh, it's Bourne, they go like, oh my gosh, it's Jason Bourne. I don't think at one point in this film do they actually point out, oh wait, didn't he die? Because I can't really picture a person going to see Jason Bourne, you know, not choosing not to see the other Bourne films first, or they might not even know is part of a franchise. But and if in any case, basically, at the end of Ultimatum, the last Matt Damon Jason Bourne film, he falls into the water because apparently the audience, like me, thought he got shot, but then he starts swimming like, oh no wait, he survived. So, and even in the trailer, Nikki's like, people think you're dead, and not once in this entire movie do they reference, oh wait, didn't you die? Like, they don't say that at all. They just go, oh my gosh, it's Jason Bourne, and just assume he's doing something awful, and then, just really get on his nerves and don't leave him alone. Yeah, they even say, wait, he's been gone for so long, like, do you really think he's doing something bad? Like, yeah, he's doing something bad, we've got to go kill him. They even do something to another character, which I think was really uncalled for at the beginning. You will know what I mean. But, I feel like I spoiled Ultimatum for you, but, I was just assuming. I know I shouldn't really assume that. Like, if you choose to go see Jason Bourne, you want to hear someone's thoughts on it. That you might have seen the other films first. But again, some people might not even know that's a part of a franchise. I think there have been a few films like, and I look at the poster and like, oh, that must be the first, but because it does have a number in the title. But then I find out, oh no wait, it's actually part of a franchise. Yeah. Also, like when when Star Trek Beyond ended with that lovely main theme, I just sat there because I just liked hearing that in the cinema once again, and because it's the first Bourne film I've seen in cinemas, I knew there was nothing after the credits or mid credits such as every other Bourne film, but I was just sitting there listening to the rest of the song, that every Bourne film ends with like dun. I can't duplicate, I can't impersonate that noise, but you know what I mean, like, I don't even know what instrument that is, but I'm not going to say moving on again. That is moving on my new anywho, I don't know. By the way, instead of just one person or lady shouting at people in a computer room saying, okay, that's Jason Bourne, find that security camera first, find someone who's mentioning him on Facebook, and doing a hashtag Bourne's back, baby, and instead we get three. We get Tommy Lee Jones, I believe one other guy, and the character of Heather. There's not very much of it, but in all the other films, it was never my favourite part. It just you're interested in what Jason Bourne is doing, just cuts back to someone saying, "There's Jason Bourne doing this and that, go find him," and I'm kind of like, I know it's meant to like up the ante, but I already know what's going on, and it just cuts to someone shouting like, "There's Jason Bourne, go find him! I need him now!" And there you go. But in Bourne Legacy, now it's looking for a nurse. Oh gosh. Moving on. It's kind of the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull of the Bourne franchise, but it doesn't jump the shark that much. Aliens don't come out of nowhere. But Tommy Lee Jones, he was just a guy in a suit going like, "Where's Bourne? You go find." But that impression was god awful. I don't even know where to begin. I didn't even know where to begin with a Tommy Lee Jones impression, but that was it. But I also found the beginning interesting, like seeing. It doesn't really explain what Bourne has done all this time. I'm guessing just make money off fights. I'm kind of sad that they didn't use the shot in the trailer where just the back of the guy, and then like Bourne just punches him and then he's knocked down. But instead they used a different shot, and it didn't really look as good. And I also really like, and I like the close-ups of just Bourne just doing a frowny face. He's so intense, like, I'm angry at everything. Well, he's not angry at everything. Still trying to bloody figure stuff out, and really is. I mean, and also there's a bit of a twist of what his dad actually did and how it involved with him becoming who he was. Didn't really make the biggest deal out of that, because that's kind of a big deal. I mean, this is the first time we actually hear of more of his backstory before going into the program. Another similarity is like in Supremacy, Pamela Landy was the person who's like, okay, I only just found out about Bourne, so I'm going to take charge. I'm going to find out all about him. And then she grows to actually see him as a good guy, and who's trying to do good. But in this film, it was the character of Heather Lee who only just finds out about him. It's like, okay, I want to find him, and then she ends up helping him. That spoiler? I don't think so. Hopefully not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying my best here. I mean, I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Have some pity. You haven't gotten this far, have you? I'm keeping my hopes up. To fans of this franchise, it's just like, yay, another Bourne. But to people who've never seen this franchise, this is gonna look like one of those generic spy action films. Just give an actor a gun, kick some people's faces in, and CIA and personal stuff unleashing onto the world because of satellite or chip or hard drive, stuff like that. But yeah, emphasis on the most people not looking that invested, and either Matt Damon's really good at playing this character, and that's why Bourne most of the time is just frowning and is like, and you know, doing his thing of like, oh, he's remembering something, like, oh, I'm having a flashback, I'm remembering again. That is some bad amnesia. Ironically, tomorrow I'm seeing Finding Dory, another film about amnesia. Dory, Matt Damon team up. Or Matt Damon just seems incredibly bored and he doesn't want to do another one of these. Damn it, I was in Good Will Hunting. I've done 3 of these, isn't that enough? So no, we have to end it. We have to end it on not, at least not Legacy. Legacy kind of sucked. Emphasis on that as well. I mean, it's great to see Bourne back at all. I mean, but if you're here for some good action, I mean, there's some level of, like, you know, intensity here. But if you're here for, like, and also if you're interested in the character of Bourne and, like, knowing more backstory to him, some new stuff, that, because again, I don't believe this was actually based on the book. This is like new material, and also the fact that it's from the same director of Supremacy and Ultimatum, Paul Greengrass, yes, and has again a Matt Damon. But if you're here for, like, you know, other characters, there's not a lot of good character detail here. Just like Tommy Lee Jones just doesn't like Matt Damon, he's a bit of a scumbag, and Heather is like some sort of double agent, and also there's a lot of stuff about social media and hacking, and social media is meant to be the epitome of Facebook, even though we never hear anything out. We never hear really anything about this social media, but it's called Deep Dream, which sounds more like a mattress pillow manufacturing company to help you sleep well. But no, apparently that's a social media in this movie, and personal information of Jason Bourne need to stop it, you know. See the movie and you'll see. I don't want to go into too much plot details and pick it out because again, the trailer makes the plot quite vague. I almost said vague. It sounds like a French food, vague. You want some vague? I go. You know. But wrapping up, and there was a lot of good action, like the car chases and hand-on-hand fight, melee combat. That's a better word for it. Words. There was 2 of them. Melee combat. I mean, it's still, you know, good. It still brings his A game, like in the trilogy. But yes, there's the shaky cam still there. I mean, it's not like that you can't notice a single thing, but it's there. I mean, the camera, don't think the camera's going to stand still a lot of the time when it wants to. Bourne is still, Matt Damon is still amazing as Bourne, the machine-like calculating guy who just wants to know more about his past and also just wants to stop the bad guys and any more of what he had to go through from happening. The other characters, the new characters, aren't very well detailed, and you're just not invested in them at all. And also, most of the acting is just very dull, and no one seems really interested. It's a bit like Jennifer Lawrence in like X-Men Apocalypse. She just didn't seem like she cared all that much. Yes, I mean it's nice to see another Bourne film, especially with Matt Damon. And I'm not going to call this a cash grab, because like a lot of people, if it was a cash grab, I imagine the Bourne Legacy made money. I think it did. Must have made some money. But like, I'm sure if it was like, if it was that successful, they'll just continue with Jeremy Renner and just ignore people saying we want Matt Damon. But they did bring Matt Damon back for it. It's not bad. It is quite enjoyable. It's a bit like Legend of Tarzan, and it was enjoyable, entertaining. And if you're a fan of these films, like I say I am, it was good. It was a good time, but it was alright overall, and it was very predictable and repetitive in places, and some things just didn't make sense and weren't very well handled. But there you go. But there you go. There's my thoughts on not only Jason Bourne, but also the other Bourne films. The Bourne Identity, pretty good. Supremacy, Ultimatum, both amazing, and Legacy, yeah, kind of sucks. Definitely better than Legacy. That's what I'm trying to get off. That's what I'm trying to, yeah. Well, you've been watching Deano Reviews, just another screen watcher like you. Bourne. Would have been nicer if I could speak a bit louder, because I think my thoughts would have been a bit more concise. But maybe it's the fact that it's almost 1 a.m. and everyone's asleep. But hopefully I got my thoughts across well enough in 40 minutes. But luckily I'm going to annotate it. I'm repeating myself a bit like some parts of this franchise. But here you go. Cheerio, my friends. Hopefully that doesn't come off as me being too over forgiving. I think I'm being pretty honest there. If you want more of Jason Bourne, then watch it. But if one day I have like a marathon of like all this franchise, obviously I'll leave out Legacy because I want to see Jason Bourne. Sorry, Alan Cross, Jeremy Renner, you cool, I like you, man. But if I'm watching the Bourne films, I'll probably if I ever do get Jason Bourne on DVD. If my friends say, oh, I want to see more, I want to see like more backstory to him, and what actually happens to him, I said okay, it's not as good, but if it was my choice, I'll just stick to watching the trilogy. It's not awful, it's not terrible, it's just I'm just gonna stick with watching the trilogy, and maybe if I feel like if I want to see a couple cool action scenes and a bit more backstory of Bourne, then I'll watch Jason Bourne. Come to us now, please. The Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, the Bourne Ultimatum. Jason Bourne. Yeah. Okay, actually, goodbye now. Have fun.